right now, I'm so pleased to have joining us via telephone from Capitol Hill, Congressman Steve King of Iowa. Steve, it's good to have you back on America's Forum.
Well, it's sure good to be back, especially back with you, JD. And I love serving with you here. You enjoyed us this morning. We had the Conservative Opportunity Society breakfast, and JD at the table would have been a wonderful addition.
Well, as the COS breakfast concluded, you got word of this attack in Paris, Steve. Your reaction, what do you think Congress will do today? Any resolution on the floor or something else take place?
At this point, we just came from conference and didn't come out of there with a clear and definitive direction. I would hope that could emerge and come to the floor with a resolution. This is, of course, it's a sad tragedy, and our hearts go out and our prayers go out to the families and the French people that have lost their lives and taken this kind of damage. I think we know that we've got a pretty good measure, at least, on what the motivation is. I haven't been able to dig very deeply into the details, but if they went into the newspaper with AK-47s, masks on, and this is the paper that had been satirically criticizing Islam, this is a continuation of the terrorists that emerged from radical Islamists, and the French are paying the price today as we paid the price on September 11th.
And again, we will continue to monitor events at our own State Department. If Secretary Kerry has a statement for us, we will go to that live. In the meantime, Steve, you mentioned this morning's House Republican Conference. What was the atmosphere?
Well, it was pretty interesting. It became a little bit jovial for a while. And then as the long lines came up to the two microphones, as you can remember in your mind's memory, and the two aisles between all the chairs, but now we're 246 strong. And so the HC5, the room in the basement of the Capitol, is bursting at the seams with Republicans. But there was some levity, and it just got a little more serious and a little more serious until the two sides of the argument raised the tension level in there again. And some thought that, members of Congress who have a vote card and they have the constitutional vote that we put up for Speaker, that's required by the United States Constitution. And they argue that you really don't have a free vote if you're a member of a conference and that conference, and be the Republicans or Democrats, have voted to nominate an individual for Speaker. They argue that you're bound to vote for that individual because you're bound to have to abide by the decision of the majority in the conference.
Steve, obviously, you and 24 others had a very different point of view. 25 of you voting not for Speaker Boehner, but for another choice. Have you talked to John Boehner in the wake of your vote and yesterday's developments and opening of the new Congress?
No, I haven't. And although Louis Gohmert did in a brief conversation, and Ted Yoho had a brief conversation with him, I haven't found that I make a lot of progress when I'm having conversations with John Boehner, so I didn't take a lot of effort to do that. I wanted to see how they were going to react to this, and one of them was the retaliation move of kicking Daniel Webster and Rich Nugent off the Rules Committee, and that's now under reconsideration.
Now this is big news. So the two Floridians who were kicked off the Rules Committee by Speaker Boehner, the conference is going to reconsider that action?
Well, let me say that the Speaker is going to reconsider that action, and we will see how that comes out. It'll take a few hours to get this resolved. I don't think they'll let it sit very long. I can understand why the Speaker needs people that he can count on the Rules Committee. I mean, we know how that system works, but you don't kick them off for voting their conscience on a constitutional vote on the floor. And so if they want to negotiate with them and say, you might be tired of the Rules Committee, what's your plum committee assignment? Maybe Ways and Means. Dan Webster, if you'd like to go there, we'll make a trade with you. I could see doing that, and that would not be retaliation. But if you just kick them off and do that summarily, and if two guys are punished out of 25, and then you march on down the line, they'll pick everybody off one or two at a time until everybody has had retaliation, retribution, punishment, and then that's a chilling effect. You cannot let the public, the public would look in on this and see that if the Speaker's going to tell you how to vote. We understand the problem you're talking about right there, Steve. We're going to talk about it more on the other side of the break. Also waiting for Secretary of State John Kerry. Stay with us.